I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a comedy.
If you just smile.
Welcome to CoinSpice Live. I'm your host, Peter Ryan. We got a great show for you tonight. We have Cameron Lee, who was just at the Bitcoin Cash City conference in Australia. He'll be giving us all the juicy details of what went on there, on the ground community engagement and the wild talks that all the speakers gave, as well as his specific talk about Bitcoin marketing and merchant adoption. So we're going to jump into that talk and find some really unique insights there. We also are going to explore some stablecoin news. Very interesting stuff going on there. We're going to jump into that, and we're also going to show you a few more clips from that Bitcoin Cash City conference that was just last week and still in everybody's minds as the presentation videos keep rolling out. So guys, before we start, make sure to smash that subscribe button, go down to our description, hit every link down there. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Telegram. You can go to our website, get our email newsletter, get everything you need to have CoinSpice in your life. All right, so we're going to get into it. So stablecoin, guys, what are they? They are important. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to talk about how we have Tether, the big bad stable coin among them all. It is clogging the Ethereum network. It's taking up 50% of the network as transactions slow to a crawl. As you can see here, Etherscan couldn't go any further than the last 100,000 transactions. There are some 5.4 million in total, but we can't see when they began, according to Trust Nodes. Analysts suspect stablecoin Tether's shift from Omni onto Ethereum is causing backlogs, as USDT transactions are taking up about 50% of the entire network capacity. Tether clogging Ethereum was somewhat expected, and some enthusiasts are insisting this is a good problem to have. So guys, we have Tether. It's currently on Omni. It was originally on Omni, which is a mechanism for it to be on the BTC network. But as of recent, it's been moving on to Ethereum to see if it can make that work. So there's been sort of a shift going on there, and you're seeing as that shift is increasing, ETH is getting clogged up. So ETH is seeing some problems. People are questioning what's the viability of this long term if something as active as Tether really comes over, because Tether is not just concerning Bitcoin or just Ethereum. It's Tether's all over the crypto market. It is the stable coin of choice for traders. As we continue on, we can see here, if we scroll on there, and there appears to be no let up as the company behind USDT insisted in a few hours, Tether will coordinate with a third party to perform a chain swap conversion from Omni to ERC20 protocol for 300 million USTD. Tether total supply will not change during the process. A few BTC advocates have accused the stable coin of bloating that network, and so they believe it a plus Tether moving to Ethereum. So we see that going on. There's a shift. There's potentially what you could imagine something good happening on BTC in that with the Tether transactions moving away from them, they probably have some offsetting that they can do in terms of their network congestion there. The unfortunate part for the Ethereum folks is that they have to figure out how they accommodate Tether moving over. And, there's a few ideas that are going on. But, what's really important here is I don't think really about Tether. I think it's really about the fact that Tether is a stable coin, and stable coins as a concept are very important. So when we think about crypto, obviously volatility is one of the hardest things to solve here. So we want to find a way to fix that. And one of the ways is increasing the ease and access of on and off ramp. So basically, we can use the transfer mechanism of different blockchains to make money go around the world very easily, and that the value can be preserved and pushed into whatever more stable currency that or asset that the individual wants. But another way to do that is sort of merge sort of a backed currency, an asset that takes on the unique properties of crypto, and stable coins have emerged, especially with Tether, as being a solution to this, and people moving around value through stable coins using the mechanisms of crypto. So as we go back here, and we know that stable coins are important, here's a slide from Circle Research. They did a quarterly report about all sorts of things going on in the crypto industry. Highly recommend you checking that out. One of their lead analysts over there is very, very excellent. Ria, you can find her on Twitter. Yeah, so we're going to go in here. Here's their slide about stablecoins. You can see here what's going on. Tether's dominance was hindered and even grew this quarter despite the realization in Q1 that USDT is only 74% backed by cash and equivalents, followed by an ongoing investigation into Bitfinex and Tether by the New York AG. USDC exhibited the greatest growth in market cap in Q2, quarter over quarter, rising 48.7%, followed by growth in USDT, parentheses Ethereum and Omni, market cap of 46.7%. The market cap of GUSD declined 75% quarter over quarter. The ratio of the market cap of non-USDT stablecoins to USDT peaked in January at 33% and has since been falling consistently both to month. It now stands at 20%. Tether also dominates on-chain volume relative to all other stablecoins. Okay, guys, so we see what's going on there. We can zoom into these graphs right here. We can see that there's some other stablecoins out there, but Tether really, really dominates. I mean, you can see right here, boom. I mean, they're just taking over this entire graph. And even though there was sort of a rise there in some of these other stablecoins, they kind of have fallen as of late. But what we have here is we have different ones like DAI. We have the coin given out by Gemini. We have Pax. We have a few others. And there's alternatives out there because Tether, while popular, has had its share of issues in that in the market, competition is always good. And as we find value in the concept of stablecoins, there is value in finding out which stablecoin has the best business practices and can provide for their customers in a fair and balanced way. So here's those charts. Once again, this is Circle Research. Definitely check them out. You can see their whole report, various other subjects they did about the quarterly analysis there. I want to pop over to Coinmetrics, show you a little bit more, some real-time numbers and a little bit more dynamic. So we got a long chart here of volume going on for different types of stable coins, and we averaged it by 30 days, so just so we can smooth things out to make it a little bit clearer. And we can see here the rise of Tether and how it's been growing over the years, and then we can see some other stable coins pop up as we keep going along. And we're moving along. And as you can see here, we have a big bump from USDC. That's coming up, lots of volume moving over there. And you can actually see Tether losing some action. And then, boom, kind of a reversal. And then Tether shoots right on up. And we have this big peak here. And then you also see right down here, this is when Tether started to move some volume on the Ethereum. So we can see that rise coming up, and then boom, inflection point. And now here we are, guys. This is where, in the first article, we said, clogging everything up, and we can see that clear as day when we look at the chart here on the data. So volume going down, this will probably progressively get lower and lower, and this will get higher and higher, or other things will need to be considered for that. But what you actually see here too is that not a lot of movement going on from these other competitors on the stablecoin market. You can see some growth happening right there, but really nothing too much. We can even zoom in a little bit, go here, kind of get a little wider view. Let's do 3 months. So here we go. Here we can get a little bit more, starting over here, we have the beginning of June. and we're looking over and we're seeing, boom, there's that inflection point. And again, it's hard to really see that much growth going on in the competitors here. So those are the stable coins that are really popular out there. Once again, Tether is by far the most dominant. It's doing right here between, its Omni version. It's around 278 million volume moving through on this day, as well as on Ethereum, it's at 527 million. And then compared to some of these other guys, we're talking about maybe 20 million there, 10 million, under, a million when you look at Gemini's coin. So not too comparable that much, but this is crypto. Things happen, things change, things go wild, and big wild swings can occur. And just to conclude this, guys, we can go back over here, and we have another article at CoinSpice.io by our man C. Edward Kelso. SLP Exchange CryptoPhil airdrops adds first Bitcoin Cash USDH regulated stablecoin pairing. So this is one of the first stable coins to be issued on the Bitcoin Cash network using the SLP technology. And it is currently getting traded. You can see here stablecoins have and continue to be a topic of controversy within and beyond the cryptocurrency community. Founder Semyon explained to CoinSpice, we carried out extensive and thorough due diligence on the commercial structure and partnership of HonestNode, the company behind HonestCoin. We were satisfied with what we discovered, and we will be providing full due diligence report shortly. So here you go, guys. You can find that another stablecoin coming on, as we described. Competition is good. We can see, which people are best at managing this process of sort of having one-to-one backed assets that preserve a stable value for people, but can still utilize the underlying blockchain technology, especially as we are in this early stage of volatility. So you can see there, definitely go to the article, check this out more, check out all these stable coins. Once again, the links and sources we used here, this is Coin Metrics. You can find more data there. This was Circle Research. Go to them, check them out. And once again, check everything out, CoinSpice.io. Yeah, guys, so what do you think of stable coins? Are they good? Are they bad? Is there an inherent problem in allowing, this sort of potential centralization risk as well as a fractional reserve risk to enter crypto, which is supposed to have stability, which is supposed to have scarcity, and supposed to have sort of decentralization on chain? And are we getting further away from that if we look at stable coins, or is this ultimately the only way that we can push forward? So I would love to hear that in the chat. Let's hit that up. I'm seeing tons of peppers in the chat. That's what I like to see, guys. I love to see those peppers. So we're going to be right back. Don't you go anywhere.
Who is the ideal person that Bitcoin is effective to?
Another very important here is we often forget that this is often used by activists and people who want to change the world for better, despite the resistance they face from their governments, not international governments, because governments have different policies. What's legal in one country is what is illegal in one country is legal in some other country. So there are many activists out there trying to make the world a better place, but they face resistances from one or a group of countries which have a different legal system. So this really helps those activists to make the world a better place.
So activists who are working against what they're locked out of is what you're saying.
Yeah, and locked out of minor things which are not internationally even accepted, because even the governments can't come to the same table and say this is wrong, but it's because of some politics that happen at regional levels, because of which these things are illegal in one country but legal in others. And WikiLeaks, like was already brought up, is one example of whistleblowers is a great example of people who want to make the world a better place, but then the central authorities or the powers to be do not allow them to do that.
All right, guys, we just had Nishant Sharma over at Bitmain there. He was speaking to us, why does Bitcoin matter for activists and freedom lovers around the world if they're trying to get their message out? He was breaking it down at the Bitcoin Cash City conference in Australia. We had our man Calvin Tran go down there, interview him and some of the other folks. You can find that full interview video on our YouTube channel. And what's really awesome about the conference in particular was that it was in a city, in a location that was hugely saturated with Bitcoin Cash merchants. So people could spend every single meal, every cab ride, every activity they did, they could use Bitcoin. It was a petri dish of actual real world adoption that showed what life can be like if all our dreams come true here. So we had the chance to interview Cameron Lee. He was a speaker at that conference. He's a designer and a merchant in the Bitcoin Cash ecosystem, and he has a lot of good insights about what we should do. So we're going to explore that with him. We're going to show you the first bit of that interview, and then you can find the full length, uncut, raw video later when we post it on our YouTube channel. So everybody, we're about to jump into that. Make sure you comment along the way. I want to hear your questions. If you want to get your message on the screen, go to tipbitcoin.cash to throw us a little Bitcoin, get it above my head. You can see your message pop up and be a part of the show. So make sure you do that. Make sure you hit subscribe down below. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So guys, we're about to jump into that. Let's take it away.
Oh.
All right, we are here with Cameron Lee. He
Yes, we
is
are.
a Bitcoin Cash designer and merchant, and he's here to talk to us about all things going on in the industry, as well as the Bitcoin Cash City conference that just went on last week. And he had the privilege and great opportunity to give his talk there, which he will share his main points today, and we'll go through and explore exactly how we can find awesome takeaways and put that forward in the industry. So Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Another beautiful day in Tokyo.
Awesome. So yeah, for people that don't really know you too well, can you give us a little bit of your origin story into Bitcoin, what you found exciting about it, and what you're doing right now?
Yeah, man, for sure. Like, I just had an online shop, years ago, and Bitcoin started getting popular because the price was going up, and so I was like, oh, what's this Bitcoin? I should get into it. And it was really easy to put on my shop, and it happened to be at the same time that I was like overdosing on conspiracy theories and stuff online. So like basically I assumed that the whole world was out to get me. And the central banks, I got to learn all about that. So going through all of that, I'm like, oh, this stuff seems really cool. And at the same time, like cool. And it's a, way to like fight the powers that be, right? So I got into all that and then put it on my site. And then from having it, that was just like, that's all she wrote. Once I had it, I was like learning more and getting obsessed and stuff. But that's how it started. That's my radioactive spider.
Awesome. And so then that spider bit you and it fueled your blood. It flowed all around, and you found your way over to Australia last week to give a presentation. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your reaction to just Bitcoin Cash City as a concept and what you saw on the ground there?
Yeah, it was cool. I actually have a story that'll like kind of sum it up.
Sure.
I was busy the whole time, so I didn't really get to enjoy much. Just kind of go from the hotel to the restaurant and the conference. But the last day I was there, it was a day to chill, and it seemed like everyone was chilling. It was the day after the conference, and so we took this ferry across to this small island, like little tiny island, with jet skis and just super chill, super small island, like not even developed or anything. And we're there. It's like 6 of us. We get in, and one of the guys is like, "Oh, excuse me, you take Bitcoin Cash?" And in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, "Oh man, here we go. We're gonna start shilling these people, right?" And then out of nowhere, she's just like, "Yeah, we do." I'm like, "What is going on in this place, dude? It's so cool. Like you can just ask that question and they don't laugh at you. They're just like, "Yeah, of course we do." So it was.
Why wouldn't we? Right?
Yeah. It was great. It was a trip, dude. So we got to pay like, I think just about everything with Bitcoin Cash. It was pretty cool.
That's amazing. adoption.
Yeah.
So then the point was that's a huge epicenter of adoption that's going on. So
Yeah.
some folks put together this great conference. They got people like yourself to come in, give presentations, give an update where we are. And
Yeah.
can you talk about what was the summary of your talk, and let's walk through some of your main bullet points there.
Oh yeah, for sure. The thing that was like cool about it was like I saw when they were kind of planning the conference. I saw like what they were planning, and I saw, you know, they're aiming at merchants and this and that. And I'm not like a Bitcoin talker kind of guy usually, right? Like I love it and I'm working on it all day, but to actually go talk about it, I figure that's better left to the pros. But when it was, you know, about merchants, and I looked at like, you know, the topics, and I'm like someone's got to speak straight to these people, like, and I didn't see that there, so I threw my hat in the ring, and they liked it. So I just basically, like, the talk was, should you accept Bitcoin, right? Like the straight question, like, because like, okay, now I'm rambling, but like, you know, I'd get in the cab, right, out there in Australia, and you know, some people didn't know about it, and some guys like, oh, what's that Bitcoin? And they're so far away from understanding what it is. You know, if we're so deep in it and we know like all these things, and like, you know, you could say it's like what is it, like a distributed timestamp server. Like, if you're that far in the weeds, you've forgotten what it's like to be a person who's like, Bitcoin, I heard of that. You know, where that's as far as they've gotten, right? Exactly. So like, I just tried to talk straight. Like, if you have a business, this kind of business, you should take Bitcoin. This kind of business, you know, maybe it's not as strong for you. So yeah, I could go deeper if you want, but yeah, that was the general thing I talked about.
Well, yeah, just to touch on that to begin with, it does seem that we often get lost in the idea of sort of, you know, we learn more and more and more, and then we're sort of like in the esoteric, arcane, you know, little bubble of, you know, are UTXOs all created equal, and are they like all fungible? And like, you know, you have those. Yeah. Or it's like, or like, is Bitcoin really money, or is it really signatures and, you know, numbers you can't know? So there's all these things over there where we can go off on tons of tangents. But you're totally right that, you know, once you get, you know, downstream from all that stuff, you have the merchant or the casual person that's coming to this perhaps for the first time, and they don't have any sort of interface to like go that deep, and all they know is what's presented to them at surface. So yeah, I mean, why is presenting to the merchant at that level so vital?
You know, I was just thinking when I was preparing for it, I hadn't done a public speech before, I think ever, right? And so it's weird for me, but all I did was like, I thought what got me into it. And it was Andreas A. and Roger Ver videos where they were just hitting the big points, right? And like now they're off into their worlds, right? Like they've graduated into they've gone full Krawitz on us. So like, that's cool. Like we need them to, but like at the same time, I was just thinking like that original thing that got me excited and got everybody else excited. I just thought it'd be good to go back to that. So I think the reason to talk to the merchant straight is, and I put this in my talk, I think, is we're idealists, you know, with some weird reasons and stuff like that. These people have payroll, they have, you know, sales targets, they're keeping the lights on. They don't give a crap about central banking systems, or, you know what I mean? They don't care at all. So I thought it's like, just to be respectful of them and speak to them in their language makes more sense. Like, hey, you care about money, you care about day to day, here's the good points, here's the bad points, you decide, right? I thought that was a more more respectful way to talk to someone than just like, no man, you just install a wallet, it's really easy, write down your 12 words and then kumbaya, right? It ain't like that, dude. So
exactly. I mean, yeah, or it's like, you know, in other camps that are out there in crypto, it's not even that. That's like sort of the easiest thing you can do. It's here's a, you know, 1,200 word book or page book that you have to read first, and then once you finish that book, there's 10 other books you got to read. Oh, you have to fully understand Austrian economics. Yeah, you gotta run your own full node. Here, we got to plug it in from this end to that end. And
exactly.
you lose money on running a home miner. So like,
Yeah.
that's not the way to talk to the normie, I guess.
Right. Exactly.
To use that nomenclature. So yeah, I mean, this is how we need to reorient a lot of our talking points while within our own, like, hey, when we're all at the conference together among all of the people that are inside the inner circle, have those discussions. But yeah, for the majority of the outer circle conversations, we should be hitting the points that you're making here.
Yeah. And it, dude, trust me, we had some deep conversations, you know, around a couple schooners of, you know, Australian beer, and it was really fun. It is fun to go out into the weeds. It's just like, can't always take that, you know, to the public, right?
Exactly. You can't give the public weeds. You got to give them flowers.
Exactly.
That's what they want.
Everybody loves flowers.
There you go.
Well,
okay, cool.
I could also like hit you with the summary of my answer. Like, so like, should you accept Bitcoin? I got lucky. Like Omri was in the, I think it was Omri. I'm like, should you accept Bitcoin? And he's like, yes. And I was like, you would think. You would think, right?
Yeah.
But basically what I figured was, and I could be wrong, but this is just my opinion, is if you're an online business, especially with Shopify, because it's just click, done, right? Then you're kind of dumb if you're not taking Bitcoin. It's so simple and it opens you up to a new market. So that's obvious. If you're a freelancer, right, especially in a country like Venezuela or something like that that's having trubs, just, you know what I mean? It's another avenue. So just like, yes, you should be. Any kind of like online service where you deal with people, you know, through online, I think, yes, you should be. I did some work recently with Eat BCH, so I got to learn about all that they're doing, and it's a fascinating story. They've done a lot of really serious work and pulled in a lot of cash, and it's all thanks to Bitcoin Cash community and the work they're doing. So if you're humanitarian, I'm not going to give you the solid no-brainer. You got to know, you know, your thing more than me, but I think charities should definitely be looking into it. The only one that I'm not, and anything like gray market. Like, I don't think like black market really is a great selling. Like, if you do that, like you're doing your thing. So I'm not really there to like advise either way, right? But if you're doing something that's like legal, but just like, you know, old ladies don't like it, then I think you should do it. So like, you know, cam girls, you know, what's it called? Anything they're shutting down. Like if you're like a political dissident, you know what I mean? Like they're shutting down your PayPal or whatever, you should be taking it. That's almost like you're dumb if you're not, kind of thing. Who else? Yeah, anything where it's like legal, like gray market stuff, legal, but they're shutting you down. I would definitely do that. The only one that I felt like not 100% was like if you're like a small coffee shop in like rural Wisconsin or something. Yeah, you know, you might get like one customer or something. If you're interested, you know, obviously I'm not going to discourage you, but I don't know, like maybe now is not the time. So that's the summary of the answer that I came to.
Cool. And, you know, again, all these people are operating at the surface level of cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin Cash.
Right.
So they're seeing all these coins float in front of their eyes, and really the only thing that comes to them first are the coins getting the most, you know, volume out of the megaphone. So what is your pitch to them to say, hey, yeah, there's other cryptocurrencies you can use, but like Bitcoin Cash can solve so much more of your problems?
All right. So what I'm about to say might be a bit controversial, and it's just my opinion. But
do it.
This is where I stand. Cryptocurrency is stupid, right? The coins are stupid. All of the coins are stupid. We all know they're stupid. Pot coin, dental coin, we know that they're stupid. They are dumb. And if you're a regular person listening to me say this, right, you're going to be like, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's dumb. They are dumb. Peer-to-peer cash is great. So I would say any coin that is like, oh, we're going to take, you know, chickens and put them on the blockchain, like, just run away, dude. Like, that's dumb. But like, if it's someone that's trying to do like peer-to-peer money, I think that it's worth listening to them. So that would be, you know, BTC, Bitcoin. They're saying that the Lightning Network is gonna, you know, do that. You know, if that's your bag, if you think that works, at least it's going that direction. I'm not a fan of like Litecoin or anything, but that's there for peer-to-peer cash. That's kind of what they're aiming for. Obviously, some of the privacy ones. So I think like probably you could pull a handful, like a dozen maybe to look at. There's probably less than a dozen to actually look at. So from my point of view, cryptocurrency is stupid. Peer-to-peer cash is great. Of the peer-to-peer cash, personally, I think Bitcoin Cash has the best shot right now. That's my stance summed up. So I would say ignore the thousands of stupid ones. Look into the ones and pick your favorite flavor.
There you go. So ignore stupidity.
There you go. Yeah.
Exactly. So they can disregard all those other coins, and then they're presented with, the sort of top 10, top 5 even.
Sure.
So, you'll have a lot of people that will get tribalistic about it. Oh, you can only have one coin, but like, really, should we say, why don't you actually accept all? I mean, if you're a person that wants money and like that's your goal, like an affiliation to a coin is not really part of that. And you should just do whatever maximizes your potential revenue. And that's where we see, like, let's take an example like Haven by OpenBazaar. They allow for multiple cryptocurrencies. I believe they're onboarding more for their decentralized marketplace. So a merchant can go just pop open a store within like 2 minutes. They can be totally onboarded.
Wow.
And they can just decide, okay, I'll take all these different cryptocurrencies, and basically my customers will decide for me what cryptocurrency is the best to be used to buy things.
There you go. Yeah. The only one I say that, like, to have an affiliation, especially as a merchant, is just bad business, right? You just take money to sell your product or service. It's so simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only one that I could actually, and I still take it on my shop, but the only one that I would consider taking off would be BTC. The only reason being that the fees are too much. Like, it's cheaper to take Visa in some cases, not right now, but so if the fees ever get back up to $20, $50 or something, I'd probably take that off. It has nothing to do with my personal opinion or taste. It's just, you want to pay the fees, for me to like, transfer it within, and fine. But yeah, so BTC is probably the only one that I would consider taking off for.
All right, guys, we are back. We just had our interview with Cameron Lee. Fantastic stuff there. If you want to watch the full, uncut, raw video, make sure to go to our YouTube channel. We'll be uploading the feature-length video there so you can catch all the latest details that we talked about. We get into some good stuff, some spicy stuff, some names got dropped, and let's just say this, Pokes, you're probably going to ree. So definitely everybody check that out. Cameron has amazing insights when it comes to marketing, sales, sort of how do we get merchants adopted here. And I highly advise everyone go check it out. On top of that, guys, we have our next segment coming up here. We are going to We got some memes, guys. We got some memes for you. So I'm going to show you some of my dankest memes that I think are pretty darn dank, opposed to you guys just sending me all your memes that you've dug up. So here we go, guys. We got the before and after. Let's create decentralized peer-to-peer cash, and then the after institutional. It's coming. Just hodl. We're showing what happened, the metamorphosis of the Bitcoiner. Sad. Hashtag sad. Then we have over here a little bit more of the metamorphosis or the attack that happened to Bitcoin. We can't comment on the logos that have been placed there, but all we can say is hashtag sad. And now we go over here, guys, and we're done being depressed, and we're done just reacting. We're not just reactionaries. We are doers. We are the people that will go out and create, not just comment or destroy. We are creators, we are doers, business makers. So here we have the sad man, Lightning Zip Zap Boy, in his t-shirt, trapped inside, 18 months away till he can come out, and the Chad, Bitcoin casher, walking around, buying coffee anytime he wants, using P2P money as it should be, and then throwing SLP tokens out like it's nobody's business. So this is where we are today, guys. We went through our reactionary moment, that phase, and we've now come out and incubated into the beautiful Bitcoin Cash Chad. And we have all the use cases and all the ways that we can use Bitcoin out in the wild. So please go out and do that. So those are our dank memes, ladies and gentlemen. So we talked about stable coins. We got into Bitcoin Cash City Conference. We heard from Nishant Sharma. We heard from Cameron Lee. Make sure, once again, to check out the full-length interview. Make sure you go down to the description. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Telegram. Subscribe to our email newsletter. You can find all that good stuff. If you like the show, throw us a tip, tipbitcoin.cash. You can find that link in the description. And everybody, stay spicy.